At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. All right, welcome everybody to Dave Cooper Live. Now, imagine a world where building a home is as simple as stacking blocks. No mortar, no adhesives, just precision and speed. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's happening right now. Today, we're speaking with Piotr Budnik, co-founder and VP of the System 3E, also a co-founder of the VC fund ARIA. System 3E is a revolutionary technology that eliminates traditional mortar and redefines efficiency and sustainability in the way we build. You can construct walls without mixing, without a mess, and without waste. It's fast, precise, and energy efficient. This could change everything in how we build. But first, before we get into this awesome conversation with Peter, how about a quick shout out to some of our founding sponsors? So a big shout out to Cobalt Creed. They are helping builders, developers, prefab home builders, and manufacturers achieve top tier comfort, superior indoor air quality, and low energy costs. Their expertise revolves around a small duct, high velocity central heating and cooling system. They are the perfect fit for factory installations thanks to its compact design and efficiency. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out, cobaltcreed.com. And now a few words from these sponsors as well. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Are you looking to start a factory, optimize your existing factory, streamline your production, or take your team to the next level? Whatever your needs are, Forward has a solution for you. Reach out to Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. Howick Ltd. has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and producing innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for off-site modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Go to their website, howickltd.com. Brought to you by Greatech, one of the largest Autodesk partners globally and software developer of the PowerPack Advanced Design, Advanced Steel, and the StruxSoft product line. The complete solution to automate wood and light gauge steel framing, design, and documentation all the way out to CNC output, model, design, and manufacture with StruxSoft. Learn more at struxsoftsolutions.com. All right, a big thank you to all of our supporting members, and also a big thank you to all these supporting members that you see below in that ticker. We are trying to keep this real, unedited, and not get in bed with the devil, and keep this community strong, thriving, and help each other do business together. So if you'd like to support us and see your name going across that ticker and on our new website getting ready to launch, we'd love to have your support in helping us bring you all of this valuable information. So without further ado, let's bring Peter onto the show. Hey, Peter, how you doing today, my friend?
Hi, great. Thank you for having me here. I'm fine.
Man, I tell you, from the start of the intro to right now, the sunset already went down. It was so beautiful behind you, still is. But Peter, we had you back on the show back in 2021. And you have gone from leaps and bounds since that first show that we had you on. And now you're looking at operations and building here in the United States and other parts of the world. But before we get into your, I'm going to call it the Lego type building blocks, before we get into that, Peter, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Don't leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we're going to have one of your family members on, and it could get quite embarrassing. But go ahead, give us your little elevator pitch before you started System 3E, and then let's get into it.
Sure. So as you, Dave, mentioned, yes, we built like this. It's simply Lego-like style. So no glue or mortar is needed, thanks to the unique shape of the blocks. And no additional insulation is required either, as the perlite makes the blocks highly thermal efficient, with our value reaching 2029. And I think we can start with the short presentation of basically the technology and the company itself.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. So before introducing the company, let's see first how some industry have evolved over the past 100 years. So the automotive and telecommunication industries evolve rapidly, while construction has mainly changed in form, not concept. And what happened both in automotive and telecommunications industry is idea evolution, not form only. In the construction industry, we have had only form evolution so far. In System 3E, we claim, and this is basically a fact, it's the first true construction invention in 100 years, with 3 patents for composition, shape, and manufacturing. Traditional materials dominate construction, but today's trends demand innovation. And here we are with our System 3E. We solve 3 global challenges. Firstly, the outdated building methods, where System 3 simplifies construction, fewer tools, materials, and labor. We can see this going on all around the world. We are shipping to South Korea, to the Bahamas, Australia, all across Europe, Portugal, or Spain. And actually, we are the only wall building material company where the product is being shipped further than 500 kilometers. And the reason why is, of course, in the simplicity of construction. So we solve a huge problem of lack of skilled labor all around the world, and precisely in isolated regions like, for example, Dominican Republic or Turks and Caicos or the Bahamas or other islands that we are already shipping to. Then secondly, we have the climate adoption need, where System 3E is an eco-friendly. Blocks are made from perlite and are healthy, and they reduce carbon and water footprints. Actually, we have the lowest water footprint in all of the building blocks. And back to number 1, we are simplifying construction with fewer tools, materials, and labor itself. So it's actually a third point. Then the main composition of block is perlite, which is a volcanic rock. It has air-filled pores, which provide top insulation. It has neutral pH, so it's also mold resistant. And just this feature is absolutely a huge USP. They're just main properties of the block. It's fire resistant. It has great thermal insulation, so it's good to go in Greenland, Norway, Sweden, upper states, all the colder regions. We are absolutely good enough to be used, as well as in deserts, where the width of the block, which is like 1 foot, protects both from heat and cold. So elements also breathe and are hydrophobic. We add hydrophobic agents so they don't soak any water in. So you always have dry walls, which is brilliant feature. So the system has 6 key elements covering 80% of wall. IKEA style manuals are something what contractor gets with his elements order, and color-coded parts that simplify assembly. And just to recap, we have the thinnest, the warmest, and the strongest 1-layer perlite wool in the world. And by the strongest, I mean that our wool passed the toughest fire and impact test, where are no weak links, because we don't use any mortar or glue. So there's the weakest link in the wall, which is always the adhesive between the elements, which never maintains thermal or compressive strength parameters. And forces are being distributed evenly thanks to the interlocking shapes, where all the degrees of freedom along the X, Y, and Z axis are fully constrained or eliminated. And this makes our wall monolith. So if something hits the wall, it just stays very solid without a single scratch in the wall. We can show a short video presenting an actual test from Czechia, where we were the only technology in the history of Institute where the wall not only passed the fire test, but also passed the wrecking ball test without any scratch, any damage in the wall. We were the only ones. And regarding the fire, we have another video that we can have a look at. It's like a small comparison between wooden frame parts comparing to our wall. And no-brainer, Perlite is fire resistant. It just doesn't burn. And comparing to wood, these are not even real conditions. It's like a small torch. So after 60 minutes, it's just, you can see that, you will see in a moment the burned hole. In our case, the whole wall is intact and it's perfectly fine, and it's going to be perfectly fine because we have the maximum fire resistance timings.
Wow. Is perlite available all around the world?
Yeah, it's abundant. The number 1 producer is China. Then we have Turkey, and US is number 3. So there's a lot of perlite in states, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, like southwest mostly. This is where you have most perlite resources. And it's not off the record, but it's 4.5 times cheaper than what we have in Europe. So if we are about to launch a production facility in States, the costs should be significantly lower than what we have here in Europe.
Great, thanks.
So going forward, we have IP protection, which comes from the unique element shape, ensuring strong friction-based bonding. In hurricane-prone areas, we have dedicated pre-drilled hollows that allow structural reinforcement in case that is a code requirement. We have such case in Turks and Caicos, where we had to deliver elements with drilled holes, so then you connect mechanically foundation with the roof. So there's always a way to build using our system, even if the codes are harsh. and they are harsh in Florida and Caribbean islands because of the uplift. So we respect that and we adapt our system to the codes requirements. And there's certain science behind the shape of the elements. It's not a coincidence that the shape is exactly like this. It was an AI invention. It was true science behind this. Back then, 10 years ago, when we started from scratch. And this is the Morse taper angle that has been known for the last 160 years. And it initially implemented in drills and spindles, and now it is widely used in modular hip ultraplasty, for example. That the middle image is exactly the Morse taper angles that allow to implant the hip to perform hip ultraplasty. No, not too many people know about this, but we can find Morse tapers in many industries, in many products, but you cannot find any Morse taper rule while erecting a wall. So at these angles, we reach highest friction forces, which allow the blocks to connect together. And because of the friction forces, we have the strongest binder we can think of, and it's much stronger than mortar, which never maintains compressive strength. When you read carefully the technical books of, let's say, brick and mortar technologies, they always recommend to apply the thinnest layer of mortar possible, because not to weaken the wall. And if you go to Italy, for example, or for your vacation, or France, and you see these old houses built with brick and mortar, when you look at the external part of the wall, you can see sometimes, of course, the cracks on outside on the outside part of the wall, and they always go on the trace where the binder was applied. There is no coincidence that this is not passing the exam of time passing by. It's just much stronger connection to, like, the gravity in the pyramids in Egypt. It's similar thing. So let's keep moving forward. So simply we have to follow. Hold on a second. So we simply have to follow the color-coded scheme, and what do we have? Yeah, this we only need 3 tools that are needed at the construction site: a sweeper, a level, and a rubber hammer, just to press the elements down together, and that's it. This is a comparison of the tools required while using System 3 versus those that are needed in traditional construction methods. So you can see the difference. And a 1-foot module, which is a half of the regular element length, ensures error-free construction. IKEA-like color-coded guides make it as simple as Lego. And you have to simply follow the assembly process, just like building with blocks in childhood. Everybody was playing with blocks when we were kids, or almost everybody. Is the same thing. We have to follow the instruction. We don't have to have any construction experience. And there it is. So on top of that, the construction is very clean, very neat. So there's no need to accumulate waste in the waste containers. There are no waste containers, and this is an interesting case, because this is a strong testimonial that we have from this is the married Polish couple of teachers that have built a house of like 1,200 square foot over the weekend. It took 15 hours. Of course, they are no construction teachers. They're like biology and chemistry or whatever teachers. no building experience at all. And they said after the finish that it was even easier than they thought. So I think it's a good recommendation. And basically, you can just see in a short video how is it being built in real life.
It's that light, huh?
That's it.
So you're telling me anybody, a teacher or, you know, somebody that does IT, as long as they can read IKEA instructions, they can build their own house.
You know, even if you are under influence, which I don't recommend, you will not you will not make any error during the construction. The walls will be always perfectly even unless the first layer of elements is even. So this is the trick. The first, not even a trick, it must be the hardest thing, which is still easy, is making sure the first layer is even. Then you can, you know, play the music loud, barely focus on the construction, and you always reach the even walls.
Yeah. And do these sit on just a regular traditional concrete footer?
Yeah, correct.
So that's really the only masonry part of this that you need a skilled laborer to do for you.
Exactly.
Got it. Perfect. All right.
Yep. So system 3 elements are lightweight, easy to cut and drill. And actually, this is one of the most frequent questions that we receive. Are we able to drill? How we put plumbing, electricity? So this is the answer. So the drilling is easy, which again reduces labor costs. Chiseling is effortless. Drilling doesn't weaken structure. Everything stays locked in place. So even if we make a hole in the wall, remember that all the degrees of freedom in all left elements are eliminated along X, Y, and Z axis. So it doesn't matter that we have a hole in the wall. Don't worry about that. It doesn't change a thing. All elements that are going to be there are going to be still locked for good. So this is one of the pictures presenting how the plumbing and electricity is embedded in wall. And then we apply Perlite plaster, which we also deliver.
And how is that applied? Is that rolled on or brushed on?
Yeah, like you mix it with water and put it on a wall and just cover it.
And that seals all the joints, or what does it do?
Yeah, it not the joints between elements, but the holes where you have the plumbing and electricity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you cover it up just to make the wall even, and then you put glue, mesh, thin layer of whatever you finish in states, plaster, stucco, and you're ready to go with painting. You can also apply drywall.
Yep.
If somebody wants to apply drywall, I know these are very popular in states, sheetrocks, right? So it doesn't matter how you finish. The way you want to finish, you can finish any way you want.
Can I put the drywall right against that block? Or
Yes.
do I have to put sleepers on to attach it to, or can I glue it right to the block?
We have cases when people glued directly on the walls, and it stayed perfectly fine.
Excellent.
So another one is like short, a brief competitive comparison. Basically, outcome is that using two unskilled people, no need to apply additional insulation. We are basically outperforming pretty much everything what's in the market today. As of today, we manufacture walls, and our plan is to, because everything is already ready and patented, we have foundation pieces and, let's say, ceiling pieces, roof parts, which are also clickable, and it just needs an investment of a couple of dozen millions of dollars to implement in the market. Simple as that. So when we had the first interview back in 2021, I think we were only operating in Poland back then. Probably we have shipped some first elements to northern Spain, but we were in the infancy phase of the operations in our business, and now it's looking much differently. Of course, we had a factory back then. I don't know if we played video, but I think it's good to see that everything is almost fully automated. So let's have a look.
Well, you really did put a lot of automation in, right?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
How large is this manufacturing facility?
It's like 20,000 square foot building, and the plot like additional 40,000 square foot. Not big. It's not a big facility, but good enough to make the strong proof of concept and still make some nice revenues.
Yeah.
But our goal is to expand, and we are doing this. By the way, we have many guests from different countries. Most of them, I think, at least half of them, because we had like 25 guests visiting our facility in 2024, and at least half of them were coming from States. And basically, we are receiving the most inquiries from States, particularly. So for some reason, I don't know why, algorithms love watching Americans on our social media. And one of the videos reached like 6.6 million views over like 2 or 3 weeks just on Instagram. On Facebook, additional 5 million, and YouTube again, another million. So I don't know why, but American social media love watching Americans.
Hey, why not?
And they are visiting us because for many reasons. Main reason is they're looking for substitute to stick frame. Simply, they are looking for something fire resistant, for something solid. I'm not saying that it's a bad technology. I think it's a great technology. Stick frame is all around the States, and it's going to stay forever. And it has great advantages as well. It's quick, it's natural, but some Americans prefer to live in something different. So we are happy that we can host them here. And as of today, we are shipping worldwide from Polish factory, which is the first and one the first one and one operating in this moment in the world. But we are now in the process of forming JV partnerships in foreign geographies. USA, of course, number one, which is the biggest construction market in the world. 1.3 million houses being built annually. In Poland, we have like 60,000 houses being built annually. Then we have UK, Ireland, with huge need for quick building methods like our system. And we are already in advanced mode of bringing in the production. Then Spain, Portugal, where we have, again, I think most inquiries come exactly from Iberian Peninsula, both Spain and Portugal. And then Australia, where we already have certified product, a good, strong partner exhibiting product and first shipments on its way. So that's another question. What can we build out of system? And pretty much the answer is like everything which you can build out of stick frame. So single family houses, duplexes, house estates, warehouses, outbuildings, anything you want. And these are some examples of houses that were recently built. Have been recently built. We have over 200 completed projects, mostly in Europe and Asia. Different designs, mostly modern designs, so you cannot even notice that there is something new in the wall, as it's hidden, of course. Most of these houses are from Poland. And of course, every month there are more buildings are growing around the world. We have constructions in Great Britain, women empowerment, right? The
Yeah.
Netherlands, where neighbors said that they haven't experienced such quiet construction as while using our system. And if you visited Amsterdam, they have super small plots, and the spaces between houses are like, I don't know, 6 feet
Yeah.
distance, 6 foot distance, which is nothing. So they always struggle with new constructions, the neighbors. And in this case, within 2 days it was basically finished, and then roofing, windows, and that's it. And we also have custom projects that we call modular by System 3E. These are smaller, bigger, pre-designed homes that are shipped in 1 or 2 containers with recent deliveries to Croatia, Portugal, or even Miami. We have shipped one of those small projects some time ago, like a couple of months ago. Exactly this one. So we have excellent references from around the world and received numerous awards every quarter through our every quarter. But our primary focus remains 100% on boosting domestic production, and this is our focus, to bring the technology in the States with the local production facility. And well, basically that's it from this presentation. I hope it was quite interesting for you, and we can't wait to start building in the US and capture even a small fraction of the 1.3 million homes constructed annually in America. We have visited Las Vegas just recently, 2 or 3 weeks ago, at the IBS show, and there were contractors looking for substitutes to stick frame that are fire resistant. And they said that we must bring this product immediately to States. But of course, we need to obtain building codes, fire-resistant codes. And although US is like the biggest capital market in the world, and it's freedom, right, everywhere, but the bureaucracy around, bringing in the new building innovation to States, it's wow. It's the number one in all of the markets that we experience. So this is something big to obtain, but we are in the process. So hopefully within 6 months we'll be good to go.
Well, I mean, that's what, it's not just for you, it's for everybody in this country. Even when you live here, the regulations can make it very difficult to get anything done, especially when using new technology such as, System 3E or modular or panelized. So, we're working on that at Dave Cooper Live as well. So more to come on that, if we can make some big changes on that at the White House. But there's, the idea is we got a lot of people that don't have housing, and they need it, and somebody has to fix it and cut through the red tape so we can build it better, build it safer, more sustainable, and give people the ability to save costs by doing it themselves, like you're showing here, or even with the DIY side of this. But I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of contractors that would like to, use this system. How was it with the contractors at the International Builder Show? Were they interested in building with your system?
They're like, after the show, we are constantly on the calls. Even today, we had 4 calls with contractors from United States, Florida, Texas, New Mexico, California. So they're kind of struggling with the lack of innovation in the construction industry. They love our system. If we were already manufacturing in States, I'm afraid that we would be already sold out for 2025. So we just need to make this milestone, this strategic step, and bring the production in. And we have some group of people that are very interested in investing 10 million euros in the new production facility, which roughly delivers 1,500 houses annually. And I'm saying that like 10 million euro investment is like, a quarter of what people spend on nice mansions in Del Mar in San Diego, which is basically, of course, nominally it's a big number, but basically comparing to what figures are involved in the construction industry, we were talking about some funny money.
Yeah, for sure. 10 million is a drop in the bucket when you think about, some of the larger homes. I do not live in Del Mar, anywhere close to that, but maybe someday, right? Hey, let's talk about some of the quick misconceptions here, right? So we're building mortar free. You showed us how the joint lockery system works. You show how it's also being used, to replace, hips and legs and drills for the human body. So obviously there's some serious strength and technology behind the way you develop this. But let's talk, share with me, what are the concerns a lot of people ask you and they say, well, there's no mortar, it's lightweight. What if I lean against it, is it going to fall over? Right? What are the misconceptions there?
Yeah, this is number one misconception. So people think that if there's no mortar, there will be a story like with tale of, wolf and three pigs, right? But the conclusion is that only brick and mortar is the right thing to live in. And it's a good word. It's a misconception. Of course, brick and mortar is solid. That's it. It's very solid. But this, it's more solid, simply. And we have precise proofs, like the tests of wrecking ball, which we can play again, just to recall what I'm gonna.
Let me pull it up. It's going to take me a minute here.
And it's very important to understand that friction forces, they are forever lasting. They can last for eons. There are no time limits in erosion or destroying the binding between the elements. So again, this, although it looks like a primitive setup, the results are not primitive, but groundbreaking, because the biggest companies were tested in the same institute in Czechia, the same one, and we were like, I don't know, 2,000 technology that was tested, and out of 100 so far, before our system was tested, 100 walls were destroyed, and they all had brick and mortar solution, right? The mortar in between the elements. In our case, because we have the characteristic shape, right? We don't have like concave and convex. They connect together, male and female. All the degrees of freedom on X, Y, and Z axis are eliminated. So you cannot push the element in. So if there is like the wind coming and it's hitting the wall, right? I'm not talking about uplifts right now, but horizontal force. So then the force is being spread evenly in every direction. It's not looking for weakest links. So if we can imagine that elements are connected like this, and there's a mortar, so yes, wind can make through the window or through the weakest link. Yes, it can push the wall in, and the building explodes. In our case, it's impossible because we have a monolithic structure. The elements are connected for good. And again, if we apply roof on top of it and all the ring beam and everything, you cannot just disassemble the elements back to their form and relocate the building. This is another misconception. It's not a mobile building. Once it's connected and you have the full pressure coming from the roof, it's over. You cannot disassemble the house. It's impossible. So we have to use the chisel and wreck the walls with the drills like in the regular buildings. Of course,
it locks together is what you're saying. Once all the pressure and it goes together, you're not pulling it apart easily and relocating your home. Got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Got it. So tell me, how many stories can you go? How structurally high can you use this product? Can you do 3, 4 stories, multi-stories?
So without any extra steel or concrete support, we can go up to 2.5 stories.
Okay.
And the reason why 2.5 and not five, now why not 5, is because we have a certain composition of the block which keeps both excellent thermal and compressive strength parameters, which is the function of density. If we put more density in the product, so it's more dense, we have less porosity, it's more dense, it's heavier, then we of course reach higher compressive strength parameters. And then if we want to move towards passive housing, we make it less load bearing, still load bearing, but with less PSI, and we make it more porous, then we have another product. So what we have today is something which is good to go in most, let's say, moderate climates all around the world. And for specific regions, we can manufacture different blocks with different widths. We are not limited to any dimension of the block, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so you can custom make whatever you need for per the project is what you're saying. So
Absolutely.
don't just think you can only get this 1 foot by 2 foot block. You can get custom things made as well.
Yeah. So just to recap, this is iPhone number 1, 2007. It's changing the world. It's changing the way we function. But we know with the exact path towards iPhone 20 Max Pro. Okay, we know that. We have that already figured out. It's just a matter of time and money to implement all of the other solutions.
Got it. So not that what you've already come up with is enough. What's in the future? Like, where do you go from here? Are you working on some additional patents or ideas to be used in the future moving forward?
So number one, we are R&D company, just like Apple, just like Tesla. These are not just, regular automotive companies or phone producing companies. These are basically technology companies, same like Samsung, where if you see how much patents they have every year, it's like 1,000 up to 5,000 patents, new patents in each case. So we do not have so many patents because each patent costs a fortune, but we have many trademarks and patents to be implemented. Of course, as I mentioned, we also have an idea ready to implement and manufacture of the clicking foundation slabs or tiles, and then the same for the ceiling slabs, the roofing tiles. So everything is clickable. And when we look at the mega trends, where the Generation Z cannot imagine working in a harsh environment and on the construction site, and those that are in the construction are retiring or dying. So we have McKinsey reports, Ernst & Young reports, all the Big Four reports saying, yes, there's a huge problem in the construction industry. We already have a huge housing shortage, but we also have skilled labor shortage. And AI cannot solve all these problems because these are physical problems, not computer problems, IT problems.
Right.
So the world must shift towards prefabricated solutions. And there are many already great prefabricated solutions, absolutely brilliant solutions. And we are one of them, and definitely the only one in the, let's say, brick and mortar, so far status quo industry.
Hey, listen, the way we've been building hasn't been working. Look at how many people are living on the streets. Look how unaffordable it is to build. I mean, you don't even have to look at the data or the stats. Just go drive down to your local city and, feed some of the homeless that are down there sleeping on the streets, and you'll realize that we need better ways to build. And like you said, Peter, this is just another tool belt in the tool belt in the tool belt or tool in the toolbox for those of you out there that are looking for alternative ways to do this and how to do it better and quicker and more efficient. And Lord Almighty, who wants to deal with mortar anymore? I surely don't.
You know, it's like I post on LinkedIn sometimes and I compare mortar to the CD-ROM. Yeah. So it's good to recall that something like this existed, but we must move forward. And as I showed at the first slide, there were huge improvements in the telecommunications industry and the automotive industry, but for some reason, and there's also some good answer for this. For some reason, the construction industry is basically it didn't change its idea. It's only it slightly changed its form, and basically nothing really happened that changed the way we build. And the real answer to this is that we are, very comfortable creatures. So we are, if there is a certain tradition of building in some country, people are just stick to the way people build. And if something shows that you can build better, they're so shocked because it's like they see alien that it must take some time to educate them to understand that there are better ways to build. For example, I'll give you another example. Like I have a great comparison on windows. Like Poland, where we are, is the biggest window producer in the world, and we have the most varieties of windows you can imagine, and we export windows all around the world. We are even better than Chinese, which are basically number one in almost everything right now. And my family lived in New York City house for like a decade, and there were these sliding down windows, and my mom almost lost her 8 fingers because the window just came down like this, and I was like, why do they still have these windows that are life-threatening, right? And the answer is simple. The tradition, the tradition. And to change the tradition, you just need to put a tremendous amount of energy to change the way the contractors, the designers, architects think. And if you are at the level of architects and contractors, you before that you have to apply for the codes and convince that your windows are not life-threatening, although these are life-threatening. And this is like a mix of misunderstandings on many levels.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Well, Peter, we're just about out of time here. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to share with us that I didn't ask you? Now's your time to do that before we wrap up.
I think we have discussed pretty much everything. Nothing comes up to my mind. So I'm very happy to be on your show again. I hope it's not the last time. I know you have a wide audience, so I can say only that what you're doing is great. Thanks to your first video, we had a huge reach among US contractors, and people are still finding out about your videos. So basically, a big thank you for being here.
Well, listen, thank you. Without all of you doing great stuff out there, I'd have nothing to talk about or share with the world that's watching. And you brought something to my mind. I remember when we did that video a couple weeks, or like when somebody saw the video and they hopped on their own private plane and flew over just to see your product, if I remember right. And I was like, really, that's really cool.
And the same guy, he's a private jet pilot, and he of course visited our booth in Vegas 3 weeks ago. I think he's a #1 fan in the States right now. Yeah, and he has he's going to have a special place in this story, and that's great. That story.
Well, listen, that's what it's all about. It's helping everybody do business out there, and And that's what the scrolling ticker is about as well. We're here to just bring the knowledge and information to everybody out there. And the only way we can continue to do this, Peter, is if people support us, and then we can stay unedited, have anybody we want on this show, so people can work together and do business together without us being guided by somebody with a lot of money. And that's, we want to keep a community here. The community is important to us, and it's important, to people like yourself that are starting new businesses and growing. So any of you out there, if you want to support us, please reach out to us. More than happy to share the details on how you can have your name on there, as well as on the website. But Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. Truly, always a pleasure. Don't go anywhere. I'll come back to you after our outro. But for the rest of you out there, hey, it's only Wednesday. You still got 2.5 days to keep building it better. You better check out Peter's product, because I have a feeling you're going to see it in your backyard, in your neighborhood somewhere very, very soon. Peter, I'll come back to you. Make sure you thank all of these supporting members as well. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.